Hey, at least they were fun to watch today. I'll give them that. The Chicago Bears drop a game to the Saints by a score of 24-17, a game which they should have won if they did not turn the ball over 5 times. 5 freaking times we turned the ball over. Our quarterback, Tyson Bagent, even though he looked pretty good in the first half, he had 4 back-breaking turnovers, and the Bears drop a very winnable game to the Saints on the road. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year. And at this point, guys, the losses don't sting as much as they used to because the season's basically over. We're at 2-7. We don't have really any chance of doing anything this year, but I will say at least I was entertained in this game. I'll give the Bears that. At least they did not get blown out, which they very easily could have on the road. That's how low the bar's been set here in Chicago, that just not getting blown out, just being competitive and losing the game is still cause for celebration because we're just used to getting absolutely hammered, at these away games and in general. So it still obviously does suck we lost the game, but we did outgain the Saints in this game by a margin of 368-301, and we very easily could have won this game if we didn't turn the ball over 5 different times. And talking about Tyson Bagent, man, I thought I would be praising him after the first half that he had, because in that first half, he looked confident, he looked poised, he was getting the ball out super quick, going through all his reads, and getting the ball out to the guys in space, and just looking very, very efficient and good as a quarterback, besides for that one pick in that first half, which was a pretty bad pick in our own territory. But in that second half, guys, Tyson Bagent completely crumbled in that second half. And I don't want to ever put all the blame on a team losing a game only on one player, because that's rarely the case. It is a team sport, but when you have 4 different chances to tie the game up with our defense, putting together stop after stop after stop, which credit to the defense, guys. I'll talk about the defense in a little bit. Defense obviously had up and downs, but in the second half of this game, the defense definitely gave the offense a chance to win this game. They gave the offense 4 chances to win the game, and what happened? Interception, punt, fumble. Okay, and that fumble I'll give to Larry Borom because Larry Borom completely messed up on that block, and that was kind of a tough play, for Tyson Bagent, seeing immediate pressure like that. So I'll give that fumble to Larry Borom, but what was he doing on those picks, guys? Like, how can you look like such a good quarterback in certain parts of this game and just make completely boneheaded plays like that, where he was late on some throws? The first interception he had in the first half, he just did not read the defense properly. And yes, I understand he's a rookie quarterback, and I'm not going to again, destroy the kid for having a bad game, but this was a very, very winnable game for the Bears if he just did not panic and throw those interceptions, and we would be talking about a really good story here in Tyson Bagent, the UDFA quarterback, which is still a great story, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not going to completely hate on the guy right now like some people are, but we would all be talking about how good he played if you just take away those turnovers, but you cannot take away those turnovers, okay? His turnovers were a big reason why we lost this game, and he has a habit now for turning the ball over, okay? In that Vikings game, he had an interception. Chargers game, he had 2 interceptions, I believe. And today he had 4 total turnovers. So that's a lot of turnovers, guys, and only a couple starts that he's had. So he definitely has to improve in that regard if he ever wants to be, a starting quarterback in this league. He's going to be a decent backup still, I think. Like, let this kid develop and grow at his own pace. We're expecting too much out of him right now because we're a desperate fan base that wants results right now because it's been so bad for such a long time. So I think Tyson can still be a good backup, but he lacks the upside to be a solid starter, like a top 10 starting quarterback in this league. So like the Bears, if they move off of Justin Fields, they're going to draft a new quarterback next year, or if they keep Justin Fields, Bagent is only going to be the backup. And again, I don't want to completely take away from all the good things that he did in this game, because in that first half, man, he was ripping some middle of the field throws and, maneuvering the pocket and even running with the football. He had like over 60 rushing yards in that first half. On that 3rd and 12 in the first half, he had a gutsy run diving for that first down, barely got it. And he had a handful of other really impressive runs too in this game. He's obviously no Justin Fields running the football, but the dude does have some level of mobility and moxie running the ball too. But again, guys, like, as good as he was in throwing the football sometimes, getting the ball out quickly and making decisions quickly, like, you cannot turn the ball over 4 times, okay? That was one of the major reasons why the Bears lost this game. And talking about the rest of the offense, guys, DJ Moore also had a back-breaking fumble after a catch, which DJ Moore has been our best offensive player the entire year, so I'm not going to kill him too much for making a mistake, but that was a pretty bad mistake that he made, which I think the Saints got points out of that. So, Moore was pretty quiet, I would say, besides for a couple nice catches. Darnell Mooney was actually targeted good amount in this game, and he had 82 receiving yards. He had a nice cut in the open field where he got a lot of yards after the catch. And Cole Kmet, guys, 2 solid touchdowns to begin this game. He had a really nice diving catch over a DB that very easily could have been a pick, but Cole Kmet snatched the ball away and made a pretty nice highlight reel catch. And Cole Kmet has been very good for the Bears the entire year in terms of blocking, and now he's coming down with, really cool touchdowns too. So honestly, one of the most underrated tight ends in the NFL, because I don't see people talking about him as a top 10 tight end, but he definitely is a top 10 tight end if you just look at the numbers, if you look at the film, if you include the blocking as well. He's obviously no Travis Kelce or anything, but he's a very solid football player, and the Chicago Bears are lucky to have him. So, Kmet had a pretty good game, and on the ground, man, D'Onta Foreman had a few bulldozing type runs, and he looked really good for the vast majority of the game. He had 20 carries for 83 rushing yards. Roschon Johnson was pretty quiet in this game, only had a couple carries, not really that involved. It was mostly the D'Onta Foreman show. And talking about the Bears offensive line, I was thoroughly impressed for the vast majority of this game. They definitely do have penalty problems. Okay, Darnell Wright had a penalty. Braxton Jones had a penalty. We also had Lucas Patrick, I think, having a penalty. So the penalties definitely are way too much, but to go up against a pretty nasty Saints front seven and handle them for the vast majority of this game, that is really freaking impressive. And Tyson Bagent had some very big pockets at certain points in this game. Obviously, at the end, we faltered a little bit, but you can't ask for too much more going up against a top 10 defense. Okay, there were many times where Tyson Bagent had ample time to throw the football. And obviously, Tyson Bagent being a quick decision maker helped in that too. He definitely has a knack for avoiding sacks. Unlike Justin Fields, that's one area where he's definitely better at than Justin Fields avoiding sacks. But the offensive line also was definitely better in this game than they have been for Fields at times. Okay, Darnell Wright had a pretty good game aside from a few mistakes and one bad penalty. Braxton Jones returning on the left side was massive because when he was actually in there, the Bears offensive line looked pretty good. When Larry Borom came in there, they did not look as hot, so Braxton Jones returning was definitely big, and he definitely has a chance to be the left tackle of the future for the Chicago Bears if he can stay healthy and cut down on these penalties, because he has been a pretty solid pass protector during his time with the Chicago Bears and a solid run blocker too. And Tevin Jenkins, as usual, had a couple of very nice blocks in the open field in this game. The offensive line is definitely trending upwards. Okay, we do have holds at center and left guard still. I don't believe in Cody Whitehair or Lucas Patrick at all, but this could be a pretty nice offensive line as soon as next year if we do, draft more players in the draft on the O-line and maybe sign a guy in free agency. Like, this could be very, very good as soon as next year for whoever the quarterback is. So that's a definite positive for the Chicago Bears for the future, because we know it's so hard to build a good offensive line, but the pieces now seem like they might be there. At least the backbone of this offensive line, the structure, the foundation is there, and we just have to add on top of that, get a couple more good football players. So that's the offense. Talking about the defense, they were pretty bad on third down, obviously, and got gashed on third down multiple times as they have the entire season. So that was definitely upsetting, and Derek Carr had some easy throws on third down in that first half. We did get some pressure at times in the first half with Montez Sweat getting very, very close to getting to the quarterback, but not officially getting home. So pass rush definitely was improved in that first half, but it wasn't good enough, and the Bears, on third down got destroyed and looked pretty rough. But in that second half, they definitely turned things around, especially considering the fact their offense turned the ball over 4 different times. It's really, really hard to play defense when your offense is turning the ball over that many times. So I don't blame them for allowing 10 points in the second half, because they gave the offense multiple chances to tie this game up, but the offense completely failed them. Okay, the pass rush was also a little bit better in that second half. Coverage was definitely better downfield. Kyler Gordon definitely popped out in this game, I would say. He was a guy that was making phenomenal tackles in the open field. He had a nice play in coverage, both in that first and second half. So Kyler Gordon had a pretty good game. Jack Sanborn, I feel like, had an amazing game. He was flying all over the field, and it seemed like every other play he was making a tackle and wrapping up around the guy. So, Jack Sanborn, whenever he's on the football field, he makes plays for the Bears. I know we paid Tremaine Edmonds a lot of money, but he looked pretty good in this game. Jack Sanborn did. So, good game by him. And talking about Montez Sweat, the new guy, I think he had a pretty nice first performance. He did make a couple plays against the run. He set the edge pretty well. And against the pass, he did not record any official sacks in this game. But as I mentioned, he got very, very close to actually getting to the quarterback in that first half. He had a few pressures where he definitely did affect Derek Carr's throws. So, even though he didn't actually get a sack in this game, I'm still a big fan of Montez Sweat. I think he definitely made an impact in this game, even if it wasn't counted on the stat sheet. So pass rush still has to be better though. Like we still have to get another guy on the other side of Montez Sweat, because Yannick Ngakoue has not really been stepping up this season as he has in previous years with other teams. Okay, he doesn't really have many sacks this year. So, you know, pass rush on the inside, on the outside at defensive end still could be a lot better. But I think that Montez Sweat definitely did improve the Chicago Bears defense, and you could feel it at times in this game, even though we did still allow, you know, 24 points. And you know, overall, again, like to give the Bears offense so many chances to actually tie this game up, like in the second half, I definitely was impressed by the Bears defense, but on third down, they still absolutely suck. So they do have to be better there going forward if they want to be viewed as a respectable defense. But leave your comments down below, guys. What did you guys think about this game? You know, I know Bears fans are pretty mad at this point, and they should be, right? Because it's another lost season, another year of waiting for this team to actually be fun and entertaining to watch and actually winning some football games. But I do think the foundation of this team has some reason to be optimistic. Obviously, we don't have a good head coach. I'm not sure what we do at quarterback. So those are two key pieces we have to figure out. And I really still hope it could somehow be Justin Fields as a guy for the future. Time is running out though, so he does have to return against the Carolina Panthers this upcoming week. We have a Thursday night football game against the Panthers. If Fields is back for that game and he has a good game and he has a good end to this season, maybe there could still be a path in which Justin Fields could be the Bears franchise quarterback. But if that doesn't happen, then we're probably going to have to draft another quarterback and start over from scratch. But there is some level of foundation here that could be helping out whatever quarterback or whatever head coach we have next season, right? Like having a stud offensive tackle on a rookie deal in Darnell Wright is a massive thing, you know, for the future. We got Tevin Jenkins playing really good ball. We got Cole Kmet as being a solid tight end. You know, we got Braxton Jones on the left side. On the defense, we got pieces like Montez Sweat, TJ Edwards locked in. We got Jack Sanborn. We got Jaquan Brisker, who can't really stay healthy, but Jaquan Brisker also shown some nice flashes. Hopefully we can lock in Jalen Johnson. Kyler Gordon's been having a couple nice games. So I know it looks very bleak right now, but we have 2 top 10 picks coming in the draft next season. We have a lot of cap space still, even after acquiring Montez Sweat and DJ Moore and paying guys like Tremaine Edmonds. Like we still have $55 million in cap space to spend next year, and we could get even more by cutting guys like Cody Whiter. So this team still could be a lot better next season if we do find the right head coach, which is a big if, because this team can seemingly never find a good head coach after we fired Lovie Smith. Like we did not hire any good head coach after that. So it's going to be a big job for Ryan Poles to actually get a proper head coach here in Chicago. But I get why Bears fans are always pessimistic, because this franchise seemingly always messes it up. But it could be a pretty fun team to watch next season, which I, again, say probably every single year, but I don't know, man. As a Bears fan, all you can really do is be optimistic that one day things will change. And today is not that day, but hopefully in the future it will be. Justin Fields returns next week. I'll be back with my pregame prediction for the Panthers game, probably on Monday or Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.